Well, welcome to Facebook Live. I'm President Livingstone at Baylor, and we wanted to take a chance today to visit with our prospective parents and families and answer any of the questions that they have. As you know, we are sheltering at home at Baylor, and our students are very, very busy in online classes this semester, but it all seems to be going very well, and our faculty and staff have worked so hard to adapt, and our students are adapting well also. We're in our second week of online classes, so we know that you as prospective families are a little anxious about all that's going on. Your families' lives have changed a lot, and your high school students maybe most likely are home with you as well, and they're trying to decide what they're going to do next fall. So we want to answer as many questions as we can about Baylor and what we're doing right now and what we're planning for the fall. So I know we've had some questions submitted in advance, and then certainly add your own questions to the conversation as we go along, and I'll do my best to answer as many of them as we can, and if I can't find the answer, we'll make sure that someone gets the answer to you. So let me see, we've had some questions just about the admissions process generally, and has that changed in any way? And really the admissions process is very consistent with how it has been in the past. We did move our application deadline to June 1st from May 1st, and felt like we needed to give people a little bit more time to prepare for that application process given the disruptions that folks have gone through in the last several months, or the last few weeks even. So know that that process is in place. Our admissions staff are available to answer your questions, and certainly reach out to them if you have specific questions about your particular application, or really anything about the admissions process generally. When will we know if the fall semester is continuing as normal? Well, right now our plans are for our fall semester to be face-to-face here on campus. We certainly hope that that's the case, and that by then this has settled down and we can return to a more normal way of doing things. But we will continue to monitor that over probably the next couple of months to see how this plays out, and then we will certainly provide information regularly about that decision and that process. But right now the plan is to be back on campus in the fall and hopefully be returning to more normal operations. How large is the chance that we will end up doing fall semester online? That is a great question. We could probably have a lottery about that and see what the odds are. It's really hard to predict at this point in time. We continue to consult with health professionals, public health professionals. We continue to engage in discussions with our local city and county government, as well as monitor what's happening at the state and the federal level. As we make all of our decisions right now at Baylor regarding what to do with regard to the COVID-19 pandemic, we really focus on kind of three primary priorities. One is ensuring the health and safety and well-being of our students and our faculty and staff, and that would certainly apply to our freshmen coming in next year. We are focusing on how we ensure continuing to provide a high quality and engaged learning experience for our students, whether that's on our campus or whether that's in an online format, and then certainly ensuring that the business continuity of the institution continues, so we can continue to provide a high quality learning environment for our students. So we will continue to monitor those things, and then certainly we will let folks know just as soon as we can about the fall decisions and what we're going to be doing in the fall. Is there any way to visit campus right now? Unfortunately, we are not doing organized campus visits or having people on our campus in order to protect everyone's health and safety. We do have some students still residing on our campus that were unable to leave, particularly international students. And so we really want to respect the shelter-in-place guidelines of our city, our county, and then the state. And so really, if you want to see our campus, we have a lot of resources online. We have virtual tours for students. There's over 100 videos that our faculty and staff and students have put together that give you a sense of the experience you would have at Baylor. And so in this interim period of time when we're not able to host people on campus, there are many ways through our admissions website and through the university website where you're able to get a sense of the campus and experience the campus and the Baylor campus experience, even though you're not able to be with us physically on our campus. Will students be living in the dorms this fall? Well, if we're able to have folks back on campus and to teach classes in a face-to-face format, we will definitely have students in the residence halls on campus. So that's, again, what we're anticipating right now, and certainly hope that that's the case as we move closer to the fall semester. What is the status of summer activities for incoming freshmen? We've had to adapt some with summer activities for our freshmen. Typically in the summer, our freshmen experience our orientation program and then line camp, which is where we prepare them for the fall, and they get to go to Independence, which was the founding location for Baylor University. What we are planning right now is an online orientation that will give you the information experience you would have had in the orientation on campus. And then we're monitoring what we're able to do with line camp, because that truly is a face-to-face experience that would be hard to replicate in an online format. We certainly are continuing to monitor, and if the situation allows us to begin to bring individuals back to campus at some point in the summer, we would then add some face-to-face orientation sessions and then look at whether or not we could provide some alternatives for line camp. But right now, there are online orientation options, and you should be receiving information about that so that you can sign up for those and go ahead and get engaged in that orientation process. Again, we think that's going to be a great way to prepare students for the fall semester and to give them the information they need to be prepared as we move back to a more normal process in the fall. Let's see, we've got some questions too. This kind of relates to fall about move-in day and how that will be affected. You know, move-in week and the first week before school starts is a really important part of the freshman experience at Baylor. It's a real special time. And so again, we're working on plans for that in a more normal setting, and if that has to change for some reason, we will certainly let individuals know and let you know well in advance of having to make some of those decisions about travel and other things that might influence what you're planning for this summer. I love that we have people from all over the United States watching. We have folks from Louisiana and North Carolina. Even someone from Uganda is online with us. And let me speak specifically to our international parents who we may have others out there from outside the United States. We certainly hope that our international freshmen will be able to join us in the fall. But we also know that there are travel restrictions in place now, and we certainly don't know whether those will be lifted by the fall. If they are not, we are working on options for our international freshmen to be able to join us in the fall, taking classes online and then being able to come join us as soon as possible. So we're making accommodations and preparing, hoping that those international students will be able to join us, but planning for alternative ways for them to be a part of the Baylor family, even if they're not able to travel to us in the fall. What kind of feedback are we receiving concerning the online learning during the current semester? That's a great question, and you know, it is one that we are monitoring very, very closely. We just surveyed our students in the online learning environment to find out about not just how they're experiencing the online environment, but just how they're doing generally and what they're missing about the Baylor experience. And in general, the feedback on the online learning experience has been very positive, particularly given the short window that our faculty had to transition into that online environment. Most of our students are having a very good experience. We've had some that have struggled a little bit with some technology issues, and we have staff that are following up with them to make sure that we can help support them in any way possible. We're also seeing a number of our students that are experiencing, you know, challenges because of work situations for them or for their families, and so we have an excellence fund, the President's Excellence Fund, and we're helping meet some of the financial needs that our students might have. as they have lost some of their part-time jobs, or as they have families that are experiencing some economic difficulties at this time. And so some of that came out of the survey as well. But in general, we're seeing a lot of positive response to the online. I think our faculty continue to learn and develop and grow in how they're using the technology and the ways in which they're engaging with students in an online way. And I've seen lots of really good examples of things that our faculty are doing. I saw one video in a Zoom class with a faculty member where she had all of the students wear a hat to class one day, and they, I think, got to share why they picked that particular hat. I saw one of our faculty members this morning post, he always gave each of his students a book at the end of the semester, and he wrote in it what he thought was really unique and special about that student and what they were really gifted at. And he's doing that still. He's mailing them the books that they're going to receive at the end of the semester. So, our Baylor faculty love our students and are finding ways, even in this new environment, to engage, to care for, and to support our students certainly in the 2 weeks we've had so far, but we will see even more of that, I believe, in the next several weeks. If classes start in the fall, what precautions will the university take to make sure monitoring of the virus is in place should a surge occur in the fall? That is something we're working on as we do planning for the fall. We're kind of mapping several different scenarios that might be the case, whether students are on our campus or in an online environment. And certainly part of that is, if we bring students back in the fall, how will we manage and work on the health and well-being of those students, particularly if we see the virus start to come back in the fall. And so we're going to be looking at things like what size of groups should be together, whether that's class sizes or events. We'll be looking at how we structure the experiences that we have on campus. We'll be having discussions about wearing cloth masks of some kind, or whether that's something we should encourage or require students to do. So all of those things are being examined and reviewed as we look at what the best plan is for the fall to ensure the safety and health and well-being of our campus community. Has the decision date been moved back? Someone's already answered this. Yes, June 1. We recognize that this is a very challenging time, and so we've moved that admissions date back to June 1st. And again, if you have questions about the process, or if you're concerned about your particular situation, please reach out to one of our admissions counselors. They are doing all of their work remotely now and online, so they're available and accessible, and they're here for you to answer your questions and help you feel as comfortable as you possibly can about our process, about what it will mean coming to Baylor. And we're excited about this freshman class. We're excited about the fall semester. One of the things that I love about our Baylor students is just what a diverse group of students they are. They represent all 50 states. They represent countries from around the world. They are an extremely bright group of students. They are a very service-oriented group of students. They're just a joy to be around on our campus. And so your students coming and being a part of that just really adds to the richness and the diversity on our campus and the experience that everyone has together when we're here at Baylor. Are there any implications for accepted students whose senior year of high school has been canceled for the year? I think we recognize that there have been a lot of unique experiences for this senior class, really for all of our students that are in school at any level. And so, I think it's just helping the admissions staff understand your situation, those circumstances. Clearly, some of those circumstances are out of your control, and our staff will work with you to understand your unique circumstances and to ensure that your application gets a very fair review based on the record that you have and all that you've done up to that point in your high school career. So we're getting a lot of questions about line camp. We know that's such an important part of everyone's experience. It's a really rich part of the Baylor orientation. And so one of the things we're doing, if we're not able to have the line camp experience in the summer, we are looking at Welcome Week and how we structure Welcome Week. It is a wonderful experience for our students now, but it is designed to be built on our orientation, our line camp in the summer. So if we're not able to do line camp in the summer, we're going to be looking at how we're designing our Welcome Week activities in the fall and some of those early fall activities for our incoming students to try to replicate some of what they would have experienced in line camp. So we have wonderful staff in our student life area that are already working on what that might look like and what those plans might have to be if we have to adapt and shift from our traditional approach to line camp and Welcome Week. So know that we're thinking about that and that we're working on how we can help ensure that our incoming freshmen have a wonderful experience as they get oriented and get oriented into Baylor in a very effective way, even though it might be a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We have folks on today from Denmark and Mexico, and we've got the coasts covered from Oregon to New Jersey. So love that we have folks from all over the country joining us. And I think it just illustrates how broad-based the interest in Baylor is, and how we are attracting students from all over the country. Just for your information, of course, we have the largest percentage of students that come from Texas, but outside of Texas, California and Colorado are our second largest out-of-state populations. We are seeing growing numbers of students from the Northeast and from the Midwest. And you know, this class this coming year will be close to 50% out of state, from outside of Texas. And so Baylor really has developed a national and international reputation based on the uniqueness of our integration of our distinctively Christian mission, our high quality academic experience, and then being really a mid-sized university with the feel of a more intimate, smaller institution, but also having the benefit of having major college athletics and athletic teams that perform at the highest level nationally. So it's a really unique experience, and I think the interest we see from around the country and around the world really reinforces what a unique and special place Baylor is. What is it that sets Baylor apart? I think I've hit some of those highlights, but I might speak to it on a little bit more personal level. Of course, I started at Baylor as president almost 3 years ago, but I had been at Baylor before, and part of the reason that I chose to come back to Baylor was because I knew what a special place Baylor was at its core, that the Christian mission of the institution meant that the way in which we deliver education, the way in which we engage with one another and with our students was different, because at the end of the day, we really believe that each individual on our campus is uniquely gifted by God. We believe that all truth is God's truth. We believe that exploring God's truth in the classroom and our research is a really unique and special opportunity. So when my family and I had the opportunity to come back to Baylor, we knew it was the right place for us. We knew what a special place it was, and I've been probably pleasantly surprised by how much more special it was even coming back than I had anticipated, given the people that we have here, given the quality of our students, and just really given the atmosphere that we have on our campus of care and concern for one another, which I have seen, I think, magnified during our response to the pandemic. We have had faculty and staff reaching out to students. We've had parents and alumni asking how they can help. It just reinforces what a caring community we have, and how much the Baylor family really comes together in the time of a difficult circumstance like this to help each other and to help all of us get through this. Should incoming students expect a big difference in the experience this fall with regard to social events, football, and so on? You know, if we're able to be back on campus in the fall in a more normal setting, then we certainly would anticipate that we would continue to have the typical types of events we would normally have in a fall semester, whether that's our homecoming activities or our Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas on 5th Street. And we certainly then would anticipate that our sports programs, our football, volleyball, soccer, and others would continue in the fall. But again, we're continuing to monitor that, and we're working closely with national organizations and others to determine the best path forward in the fall, particularly for those events that require large groups to come together. But certainly if we're back in the fall semester with students on campus, we will continue to have activities and events as we normally would. They may be structured a little bit differently than they would be in the past, but we're looking forward to that and to having students with us. Graduation plans for current students. We did cancel our May graduation. We typically do graduations 3 times a year at the end of our spring, summer, and fall semesters. And so we did cancel our May graduation knowing that we wouldn't be able to have students back on campus at that time, particularly in very large gatherings. Right now, the plan is for those students that graduated in May to be able to participate in either the August or December graduations, which right now we're anticipating being able to host. So we're going to be getting information out to our graduating seniors about the details of that and how they can let us know which of those ceremonies that they would like to participate in. We're also looking at how we can plan some sort of graduation week activities around that experience in August for our seniors so that they don't miss out completely on all of the normal senior experiences that they would have had. We know this has been a challenging semester for our seniors that really we're looking forward to spending their last semester on our campus. But again, I've been on some video conferences with some of our student group leaders, and they are doing well, and we have amazing student leadership that is working very hard to stay engaged with our other students and make sure that those seniors experience this last semester replicate some of what it would even if they'd been on campus. What does the female-male ratio look like for the incoming class? You know, our male-female ratio has been consistently about 60-40, 60% female, 40% male for many, many years. And so we anticipate that ratio being about the same in the fall. So no significant difference in the male-female ratio compared to what we've seen for a significant number of years here at Baylor. I've had some folks ask about the first gentleman, my husband Brad, and how he's doing. He's doing great. He's a high school teacher and is getting to do online learning with his students as well. And then our daughter Shelby's a graduate student here at Truett Seminary, so she's experiencing those online classes. One of the things you do get to enjoy when you're on campus with us is seeing my husband Brad, the first gen, and our daughter Boo, spelled B-U, wandering the campus most afternoons after he gets through teaching. He takes our Labradoodle on a walk around campus, and what he loves more than anything is for students to stop them, chat with him on the walk, and pet the dog. And I can assure you that the dog is quite spoiled and lonely, missing all of those students out there that love on her every day. So we want you to come and be a part of the campus, and we want you to get the chance to meet the first gen and meet Boo and enjoy their walks on campus as well. What does the out-of-state ratio look like for this year? Well, we're anticipating it will be getting fairly close to 50% in-state in Texas and 50% out-of-state. We've been in kind of the 45% ratio over the last couple of years, and we are seeing that number increase, which again I think is just a wonderful signal that Baylor is a national university, an international university that is really attracting some of the top students in the country to come and be a part of the experience that we have here. And so we love the diversity that comes from that geographical balance that we're getting, and look forward to having students from all over the country and from around the world in our freshman class this coming fall. My son wants to do early acceptance in the fall, but there are questions about when this junior class can take the SAT, ACT. Other schools have dropped that requirement. And so yes, we are certainly aware of the challenges that that's posing, particularly for students either that wanted to retake their test for this coming fall or that are planning for early admission for next fall. So our academic group is examining that requirement and looking at what the best decision with regard to that is going to be. So know that we're looking at that, and once we've got a decision on how to handle the challenges that are going along with taking the SAT and the ACT right now, we will certainly let you know. But we have that on our list of issues that we're addressing, and we will get that information out as soon as we can. What is my favorite Baylor tradition? Well, there are many of them that I love and that my family loves. I do love Christmas on 5th Street. It is so much fun to be on our campus at Christmas time, to see the campus decorated, to see activities on our campus that are designed for the whole community. And the really neat thing about Christmas on 5th Street is that it's not just for our Baylor students and faculty and staff. We invite the Waco community to come and be a part of that as well. So you see our students on campus as well as families and young children. Santa comes, and we have games and activities. We made s'mores last year, which were really awesome. So it's a fun evening of everybody celebrating the Christmas season together, and that's a lot of fun. Of course, homecoming is really one of the most special traditions that you will see at Baylor. It's a wonderful time for the Baylor family to come back to campus and just celebrate really the legacy of the Baylor line that has existed for the last 175 years, and just all those that love Baylor and want to be a part of it. And there's many activities associated with homecoming. We, of course, have a parade. There's a big bonfire, big football game, and so many other activities celebrating what it means to be a Baylor Bear. So those are a couple. There are many others. You could ask 10 people and they would all have a different tradition that they thought was their favorite. But I think it's one of the special things about Baylor is the many unique traditions that we have that help make our experience a really special and neat one, and connect the Baylor family together across the many years and generations of people that have come to Baylor. How can parents connect with Baylor now and in the fall? Well, one of the things we work very hard at doing here at Baylor is making sure that our parents have the opportunity to be connected, and not just your students. So we have a Baylor Parents Network that is robust and active all over the country. We have groups outside of the United States as well. That network keeps you informed about activities that are going on. It provides resources to you as a parent. We have Baylor parent groups that get together and send care packages to students and help the students to transition. They do send-off parties for our students to prepare them for the fall semester. And then as part of that Baylor Parents Network, we have a Parents in Prayer group. And so, again, all across the country and around the world, we have parents that meet together once a month to pray for our students, to pray for our faculty and staff. And it's probably one of the most special things about being at Baylor is knowing that we have people around the world praying for us and praying for the health and well-being of the institution and our students and faculty and staff. There are also Facebook groups for the different classes of parents, and if you're a prospective parent, you can already be a part of a Facebook group for students that are coming to us in the fall of 2020. So I encourage you to get on those. It's a great way to get your questions answered and to learn from other parents based on the experiences that they've had. So many different ways as a parent to stay connected and to be a part of the Baylor family, whether you're local here around Waco or in Texas or elsewhere in the United States or around the world. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be with all of you today. Let's see, we got another question here. Will move-in be happening for new freshmen as scheduled? Well, we certainly are anticipating that move-in will occur in the same way that it has in the past for our freshmen. I know the First Gent and I have really enjoyed over the last 3 years. We've done move-in with our freshman students, and it's usually quite hot in August when we do that, but it is really one of the things we love, welcoming our new students and their parents, helping them to get their things moved into their residence hall. And if you haven't actually seen move-in at Baylor, it is something to behold. We have thousands of volunteers, students, faculty, and staff that take your things from your car and get them into the room, and they're there after you park your car and arrive. And it is really a special gift that we give to freshmen as they move in. So we are certainly planning that right now and anticipate being able to do that as we welcome students to campus in the fall. So really appreciate the time to be with you all today. It's been wonderful to visit about the Baylor experience, to answer your questions. Know that if you continue to have questions or have any follow-up to the things that we've discussed today, that you can reach out to your admissions counselor. They're there to help you, to answer your questions. And we just look forward to having you with us in the fall, and sick 'em Bears.